On a day where we celebrate independence, Pittsburgh tries to defeat it. Alongside the Monongahela River in the Steel City, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds play host to the Charlotte Independents in the lone July 4th action in the United Soccer League. Hello, everybody. Mike Watts alongside the former pro goalkeeper Mike Pepper. You got to think right now playoff position is on everybody's mind to start July.
You're right, absolutely. Pittsburgh sitting outside looking in with the right result tonight, getting the win. They can move into a tie with Charlotte for 5th place.
I had a sellout, plenty of American flag-clad fans. Let's meet some players to watch. Enzo Martinez is a guy who can score and create.
Yeah, Enzo Martinez out of the University of North Carolina last year led the team with 9 goals. Well on his way this year, 6 goals already. Through the 10 games he played, he's added an assist as well.
On the other side for Pittsburgh, Corey Herzog, a player that you see really all over the field.
Herzog just has a motor that doesn't stop. He is constantly around the ball, around the goal, finishing 6 times as well for himself this year. Pittsburgh will look to him to get on the board tonight.
A look at the starting lineups for this game. We begin with the roadside Charlotte Independents, and Lewis Hilton is into the lineup after coming off the bench last time out.
Yeah, when you look at this lineup, many of these players, 9 of them are still starting from the last game, which was a late-night Saturday result. We'll see how much fatigue might come into play.
On the other side for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they make a handful of changes, don't they?
Yeah, including Macklin Robinson in goal. Kiza Broom gets a little international duty, and they're going to get an opportunity from the young kid out of NYCFC and Shannon Gomez.
So we'll see if this Pittsburgh Riverhound can finally get this Pittsburgh team a win. They desperately need one as they try and move back into playoff position. Their winless streak of 5 games ended last time out against the Rowdies. For Charlotte, games in hand on everybody, and a win streak to boot. They need a win on the road to keep it going. Riverhounds Independents are next.
With hundreds and hundreds of pre-owned vehicles for every budget, Number One Cochran is the one and only place you need to shop.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
Can you hear me? Yeah. How many times have you done it before? You good? Yeah. Okay. You got 50 seconds. Yep, just stay here for a little bit. Hold for that. Yeah.
Call 412 Doctors for an appointment with a sports medicine specialist at Allegheny Health Network.
Through the years, you've done right by investing in your home. And now, you can use that equity to borrow money for the things you need. With a low 1.99% APR and no fees, you can apply for a home equity loan online and use the money to upgrade to that minivan, make home improvements, or finance college. At Clearview, we can help you find ways to use the equity in your home for more important things. Let us help. Visit us online for more information. Clearview Federal Credit Union, the next generation of personal banking.
You could spend lots of time searching lots of used car websites. Or just visit Cochran.com to see lots and lots of vehicles.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
Happy Independence Day. So glad you're spending it with us. Mike Watts alongside Mike Pepper. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the site of United Soccer League action as the Charlotte Independents go on the road to Pittsburgh trying to keep their win streak going. Mike, you think about Charlotte, and when we spoke this week with Dave Brandt, he said they weren't really clicking early. They are now. They have a ton of talent on that roster. You already spoke to Enzo Martinez. Pittsburgh's got a new goalkeeper in net that's only been with the team for 2 days, and Macklin Robinson. You're a former pro. How hard is that?
It's extremely difficult. You want to know the tendencies of what your central defenders are. You want to know the outside backs. And speaking of that, a new guy as well for Pittsburgh coming in from NYCFC, and Gomez getting his first start with the team too. So it's going to be a matter of trying to work with this. You want to know whether your defenders defenders will have a tendency to try and clear it out. Do they want to play it back to you? And in 2 days, that's not a lot of time to figure out whether or not that is. So I think if Pittsburgh's running back towards their goalkeeper at all, I think a lot of the time tonight we're going to see, hey, when in doubt, give it clout, just kick it out. So, all those rhymed, didn't they? I didn't mean to. When in doubt, kick it out, but I said give it clout, get it out.
Lucas and Paula just gave you a yellow card for that brutal pun work.
Probably well-deserved.
How many goalkeepers come out with a hat to handle the oncoming sun?
Yeah, when it's low in the sky. I mean, and I'll still do that. I mean, whenever I decide to go out on the field, of course, now it's like I'm about ready to fall over from that point. But he'll be, hopefully we'll see how it's going to be setting down over that sky. And I can imagine this whole first half, it's going to be in his eyes.
What a gorgeous night it is in Pittsburgh. Standing over the ball, Jorge Herrera, 36 years old, 36 years young the way he's played this year. And we're underway. He knocks it back. And Pittsburgh and Charlotte, the lone July 4th game in the USL, is underway tonight.
Artificial turf out there as well. And the river already claims a ball, it looks like. Maybe not quite. The railroad tracks, at least.
That's right.
See how many trains come by on this 4th of July as well.
Always due for a couple. There's Lewis Hilton. Drew a ton of praise in the midweek from Dave Brandt.
And Brandt was talking about the form as well, and Charlotte is in good form, having results in their last 4.
As that found its way out.
Good look at Gomez, how young he is. I know they're excited to see him get some playing time.
Oh, 20 years old.
Yeah.
Came from NYCFC. Well, there's Mac Robinson.
Nice on that first touch, a goal kick, something that you don't have to really worry about too much.
Kevin Kerr guilty of the foul the other way.
Just kind of like that first shot coming in. It'd be nice to go right into the breadbasket if that's the case. You don't want someone to find the side netting and have to sprawl out in that first time.
Robinson played at Ohio Dominican, then went to DePaul as it's turned over.
Already a couple grabs on the play.
Marshall Hollingsworth held up. Nice opportunity early for Pittsburgh to try and get something off a set piece.
And the Riverhounds had a little bit of time. Haven't played since they beat the Tampa Bay Rowdies back on June 22nd. So should be well rested, but as you pointed out, you go in with a goalkeeper who hasn't known his teammates for 2 days.
12 days off, and that first set piece looked like it belonged on the training ground.
You always like to, especially with that sun in the eyes, you would maybe like to hold it up and force Mizell to make a decision and see how that sun might affect him, let your forwards go in, but kind of a little bit of a waste on that one.
You know, I've seen Peter check with the big headgear, but I've never seen a normal brimmed ball cap on a goalkeeper.
It's supposed to be a soft bill, so they specially make them. But in those games when you're facing pretty much due west in the evening sky, don't have much of a choice, really. Of course, those stadiums over there with Czech pretty much have that higher, what would be the end seats behind the goals, so might not be as in play.
Alex Martinez is beside himself. Otherwise, a rather innocuous play. It belongs to Pittsburgh in the end. Shannon Gomez throws it in. And the sun.
Yeah, the sun making a little effect there, Mike. Kind of just caressed into the gut and out of bounds.
Clip toward Green. With Parks approaching. And that ball square across the back line is touched away. And out for a throw, but Pittsburgh maybe a bit unlucky that they weren't one step faster.
Yeah, agonizingly close. You saw Corey Herzog as soon as he lunged for it, just past the foot. Very irritated he couldn't get there, knowing he had a chance from 18 out.
Brought down by Solto, finally back in the starting order. Herzog trying to play Romeo Parks. Claimed by Kalungi. Ahead by Gomez. And Kerr, a bouncer into the corner. Alex Martinez trying to get away from this Riverhound pressure.
You can really watch that turf, Mike. It just kind of the odd bounce, a little skip as it leaves the foot, and something that sometimes visiting teams that have the grass fields have a little difficulty with.
Gomez finds Green. Parks with way too much space to stand so idly by. Soto. Widening out. Hollingsworth got the cross in. The header is well off frame from Kerr.
It's a good ball in. Kerr just in front of the post, not able to put it back over his shoulder, at least on target.
Charlotte team that you've alluded to earlier, Mike, could move to third place very quickly, above Tampa Bay and beneath only Louisville and Charleston, with 3 points tonight on the road.
And they still have games in hand, so that little run, it just shows you in the USL, at least in the Eastern Conference, you get on a nice 3 or 4 game stretch where you're earning points, you can jump up.
Parks touches it through for Herzog! Well, he didn't miss it by much. The Steel Army made the catch that Mizell could not. A goal kick is all that amounts.
That was a great strike by Herzog looking for the near post. And that ball through there and onto the left foot, you can see, ends up hitting the side netting, but not able to get inside that post.
That's how tantalizingly close Corey Herzog was to his 7th goal of the year. You saw him in Tampa Bay for a while.
Did. Little struggle scoring goals there, but he's been phenomenal with Pittsburgh, able to find the back of the net. But when in Tampa Bay, he was able to get out there and was always running, just never stopped. But sometimes, you know, those are a little frustrating when you get that. You're maybe a little exhausted and can't put it in the back of the net when you're just 18 out.
Dave Brandt gives it back to Gomez. Maybe Gomez being 20 is a good thing for a coach in Dave Brandt, who's already made a good impact as a professional coach, but came from Navy, coaching at the collegiate level. Kerr has it taken off his foot by Hilton. Estrada seeking out Herrera.
Desperation header by Adewale as that ball through would have sent Independence in one-on-one, but Adewale reaching higher. Maybe that was actually Jamal Jack reaching high to keep that from going over his head.
Gale Agbusamonde boots it away. A guy who has solidified himself in the starting role of late. Was victimized a bit against Louisville in the 3-0 loss before the 2-0 win against Tampa Bay, but Dave Brandt was quick not to point fingers at Agbusamonde specifically. Thought he had a much better game on film than it may have looked in person, hence he keeps the starting role. Gomez goes flying in.
A little bit of an arm there by Alex Martinez late. It was obviously off the field, and looks like Gomez will earn a free kick here.
Enzo goes in.
The brothers taking care of Gomez for the last couple opportunities.
Green set it down. Solto on to Kerr. Seeking Herzog, and it's an easy header by Joel Johnson. Back to Mizell.
As soon as the sun dissipates from the eye, but I don't think it will in this first half. He'll discard that hat. You don't like wearing the hat, but it's better than the alternative having that sun in your eyes.
I was going to ask you, did you ever, when you were playing?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah, all the time. If you have those 5, 6 o'clock starts and you're staring straight into that west sky, yeah, absolutely.
Herzog trying to pressure. Jamal Jack swing and a miss.
Just setting it up for the right foot.
Sliding was Enzo Martinez in the end. Parks chasing. Dave Brandt said, honestly, I've been a little tough on Romeo. He knows it. He has missed a handful of breakaways, and yet he does have a couple of goals, including what was the final nail in the coffin against the Rowdies last time out.
It's same position between Walsh and Parks. We're able to
Don't forget about our #1 Cochran Fan of the Week contest. Post pics of yourself cheering on the Hounds with friends and family on Instagram.
Put it out by Adewole.
For CLT hashtag to have
Making
a chance
his
to win 4
first
tickets
appearance
to a
of the
Hounds
year,
game.
his first start.
Here's this
Toby
week's
Adewole
winner.
out of Maryland. Played his college ball at GW. Crossfield pass is brought down. Spinning back is Johnson for Hilton. Carried ahead by Alex Martinez. Had the overlapping run from Yearwood, instead taken by Gomez. Gomez is going to have it carry him right back to him. Jamal Jack step forward. Hey fans, stay up to date with the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Channel 85. And don't forget, SiriusXM FC airs the United Soccer League Game of the Week and more games than that. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Yesterday's Tulsa game was aired live on SiriusXM FC. Thankfully, they didn't pick the Reno game, which got a wee bit out of hand.
9-0. Crazy.
Galaxy started 3 players 16 years old out of their academy on the road to Reno, and they paid for it dearly.
Welcome to professional soccer.
That's right. Martinez does well to isolate on the far side. Johnson got a cross in. Solto clears.
Charlotte finally had a couple of opportunities into the Pittsburgh end, but still not able to really kind of test Mac Robinson yet, who really hasn't touched the ball other than a goal kick here in his Riverhounds debut.
Sliding in Jack. Not bad so far for the Riverhounds goalkeeper. Just a goal kick to speak of.
By this time, you do want that other touch. You do want something simple, but I guess this would be the better option than having something difficult.
It's Martinez. Now, June Marquez Davidson. Start number 12 of the year in game number 14.
Finally, a little possession here for Charlotte, moving Pittsburgh side to side, looking for that opportunity.
Team that's 5th in the league in pass completion. Martinez does a good job to set that down for Alex. Sets it back for Herrera. Blocked.
It was like Bustamante that sprawled out in front of that.
Enzo Martinez, 7th in the USL in goals scored. USL MVP finalist a year ago for this Charlotte side. Gomez. Yearwood made it a bit more difficult. Snap down by Herzog. Kerr goes chasing. Bilal Duckett into his own half. Gomez seems to have a bit of a sophistication to his game, doesn't he?
Yeah, as a young, he's kind of a little slight, but you would expect that for a 20-year-old. Not the biggest of size, but we've seen him get up the field a couple times, get a couple of fouls created, or at least a couple of opportunities. And defensively, he's really kind of held his own. Obviously, it's just 14 minutes into this one, but a couple balls that have tested him, and he's been able to bring him down.
One of Patrick Vieira's charges, but never made it into an MLS game, 38 in Pittsburgh gold. As Mac Robinson allows it out. His backup tonight is the goalkeeper coach, who, of course, started so many games last year for the club, in Hunter Gilstrap, who once upon a time played for the North Carolina Railhawks, still knew the folks over there, and now termed North Carolina FC. Made a phone call, said we need a goalkeeper. They have 4 on the roster. Mac Robinson's the one who made the trip.
Yeah, and obviously just getting time. When you have 4 goalkeepers, sometimes you wonder, will these other guys get any time? And an excellent opportunity with Kiesel Broom joining Barbados for some international duty this week.
Trey Mitchell is unavailable as he had a shoulder dislocation. They're hoping to have him back next week, but Kiesel Broom just 1 save of the week for his effort against the Rowdies, and he might try and make his claim for the job as he's due back Saturday.
Yeah, great honor. Go out, get a shutout, and the big save in the first half. It was the barrage of 3 saves late that probably cemented that player of the week position, even though it was a 2-0 lead at that time. But it was pretty impressive watching bang, bang, bang to keep that shutout. Maybe got in the Barbados start here.
Yeah.
You never know.
I think they're connected. I'll act it the minimum like it did.
You called it, so why not?
That's right. Look, you had to keep the bagel on the board.
Your credit. There you go.
Out of play. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the United Soccer League. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. And the flags in the corners tonight have that Nike swoosh on them. I think of them more for the cleats, but they apparently do that too. Davidson breaking that initial pressure. Now Martinez. Martinez with a convoy of gold jerseys.
Ran right into him.
Yearwood, start number 4. Kalungi. Now Davidson. 15 years a pro out of Japan.
Seeing the game shift a little bit the last 5 minutes, Mike. We saw Pittsburgh pretty much with all the action, including a dangerous shot by Herzog and maybe one that they should have got off. But Charlotte over the last 5 minutes, a better part of ball control, better part of possession, and most of the action has taken place on the other end in Pittsburgh's half.
Ball pushed forward for Martinez. And Martinez the push. As Jamal Jack is going to clear it himself.
Haven't had any opportunity there to see whether Robinson was is communicating well with them. The test through, I think we'll see if any ball comes over the top. But there are those 2 big bodies in Adewale and Abusa Monday, which probably limits those opportunities. So we'll see if Charlotte might want to test that a little bit and maybe play a ball over and see how that communication level is.
He was loaned out once last year, but conceivably his first pro appearance, Robinson. Did not appear for the NASL club from which he came. As Kerr sets players up among the top of the box. Mike Jeffries' side trying to defend the free kick in the 19th minute. Put in play by Kerr. Diving header. Estrada dispossessed. Parks. Lengthy ball upfield for Herrera. Herrera was fouled, and they did not allow play to continue. And it's Toby Adewale who gives Charlotte pretty good opportunity now.
It's time for your PA
It
Lottery
might be something
Power
a
Pick
little
of the
bit of a
Week.
cautionable offense.
This
I
week's
think maybe
image is
just
of
a
Siobhan
conversation
Walsh
right now with
celebrating his
Adewale,
first goal of the season.
Adewale
in
kind of
game winner
waiting on the
last
ball
game
just a
against
bit.
Tampa Bay.
As it was coming in, just the opportunity there by Herrera to go around him, and we saw the shirt grab. It appears that it was just a talking to. I don't think the card was issued, but we've seen that stuff, especially as that last offender back across. I would imagine the referee felt there was enough Pittsburgh defenders back in the area not to whistle it, but dangerous opportunity here for the Independents.
We know about how well they can build up, but set pieces are entirely different, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
It's an entirely different play here for Mac Robinson. Will he truly be called upon for the first time in a Pittsburgh uniform? Herrera, well, not this time. Played over by Herzog. Well, to your point, Charlotte really beginning to get a feel for this game, aren't they?
Yeah, they've really kind of held on to it quite a bit. The first little bit of that first 10 minutes, any possession they had never really crossed midfield, but a couple through balls starting to test the Riverhounds.
Bounces to Parks. Got by Martinez. Can he keep it in play? He does. Romeo Parks approaching the corner. Got the cross in. Mizell. Does it hop right into him?
Went down, maybe trying to get that save on the board. Maybe add it in there. That may have been on goal.
It's kind of like a catcher pulling the ball into the strike zone.
Let's get the strike.
You ever frame a pitch?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I learned the lesson, though. I mean, sometimes you see the goalkeepers dive and you know they didn't have to dive. Actually, when I think I about separated my shoulder one time, no backup goalkeeper at the time, coach kind of stared at me. I stayed on the field. I wasn't coming off. I was hurt, but I wasn't coming off. I know what that would have been.
And that was for an unnecessary
That
dive?
was an unnecessary dive,
Mike.
yes. Yeah. Well, you know, you don't get a lot of action all the time. You got a good team in front of you. You make it look good. Make them remember how important you are.
That's right. Kalungi clears it up to the right-hand side.
And needless to say, at 19, that may have been my last unnecessary dive.
I thought diving was frowned upon by goalkeepers.
It is as your body gets older, especially.
Oh. Kalungi settles it down. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talents and the rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting USLsoccer.com, and you'll see all the goal highlights as they happen at USL on Twitter. Knocked back by Gomez. Robinson into the shadows. Herzog chasing a Duckett. And Mizell now. Solto. That SC top 10 goal, his first pro goal. Terrific shot in the USL game of the week earlier this year. Gomez pushing up. Gomez got the cross in. Mizell leaning back towards the end line. He and Herzog have an understanding.
Fans, please join us for our next game when the Hounds take on the rival Charleston Battery on Wednesday, July 26th at
Just
7
sit there
p.m.
and get
We'll
the
also be
foul for
conducting our second
Herzog,
Allegheny
but
Health
certainly you see
Network
Corey
Health
running
Series
away
event,
from it. And
Concussion Awareness Night.
maybe a
And we'll have a
slightly
chance
more
to
aware
report
just to
on
kind of make the
concussion
goalkeeper feel it,
while
but
walking
there was
through
nothing
a
there.
20-foot inflatable brain.
Charlotte really getting forward in a hurry. Herrera had it knocked away from him. Alex Martinez tries to play Herrera a second time. Agbusamande launches it beyond midfield.
Saw these two teams pretty even earlier in the year in that 1-1 match they had back in April. Opportunities the same. Still neither keeper having been tested yet today.
Mizell. It's really bluntly asked to do a little distribution.
So much more important nowadays in the game, too. You find a difference where a lot of those goalkeepers just weren't able to make that transition. It's imperative now that you become much more talented with your feet.
Gomez for Herzog. Got the overhead pass. Brought down by Green. Gomez. Green plays Hollingsworth, who's had a rather quiet couple of minutes. Green. Touched over to Parks. Lifts it ahead for Herzog. There's Mizell.
It's a nice touch by Herzog. Parks not quite sure. It wasn't a good ball back to him.
Over the foot of Estrada. Belongs again to the Riverhounds. Well, Columbus is playing Minnesota today. That's part of what made the goalkeeping situation so difficult with Hollingsworth, a Columbus Crew loanee. The team's got relationships with both, but neither want to give up their third goalkeeper because they don't want to be in the same position that Pittsburgh was in, being without a goalkeeper at the last minute. Parks battling with Kalungi. Martinez stepping back for Yearwood.
Charlotte just forcing Pittsburgh and almost a turnover. It is a turnover.
It is Herzog trying to step over, and as he dragged it, taken back by Duckett. And now Enzo Martinez charging through the midfield. Taken away by Adewale. They got a little too comfortable there.
Yeah, can't do that in your final third. Pittsburgh has to make him pay in that case.
Kalungi.
That's a bad ball back to your goalkeeper.
Mizell has to play it into the corner. And the reverse eventually turns over. Green. Kerr seeking out Parks. Tapped away by Martinez. And now it's Enzo. The Independents get forward quickly. So Martinez tapping it over to Estrada. Johnson. Charlotte right now sure does seem intent on holding the ball, no matter where on the field.
Yeah, it's almost cost them a couple times in their own third.
Yearwood. Davidson playing for Enzo Martinez. Stripped away but turned over. Martinez looking for options. Alex Martinez to the end line, plays it low. Well, Robinson made the right move there.
There you go. First handle on it, and does handle it cleanly, especially with the running Charlotte Independence player coming into that near post. See Martinez able to get the ball across. Not a great
it's
ball.
It's time
but
for the double
just
tree by
misses
Hilton.
Estrada, who may have been coming in.
Double tree by Hilton, Pittsburgh Green Tree. Every little thing we do adds up to create a rewarding experience.
Never know. Those deflections might take it on target or so, but Robinson did hold on to it nicely.
The winning row is
Solto.
Section 101, row
Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast, Mondays 9 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM FC Channel 85. And don't forget, SiriusXM FC airs the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for all the dates and times.
Coast to Coast. They have a pretty good host on that, don't they?
That's the rumor. Here's Parks. Cut back by Gomez. Oh, it's knocked down by Kalungi. He gets all the best guests. That's the rumor. Oh.
I haven't been asked for a guest yet, so. But other than that.
Pushed ahead. It's controlled there. Of course, Thursday night, the Rowdies and FC Cincinnati take their budding rivalry onto XMFC and ESPNU.
Yeah, you get the national televised audience for that.
Rowdies a team who could really use a win at home. A Cincinnati team that's really captivated a large segment of the American soccer watching audience.
Yeah, that and the U.S. Open Cup, Final 8 now, right?
Yeah.
And they'll get an NASL team in Miami in that next round.
They'll try and avenge that Rowdies defeat to Miami. Over now to Solto. Half hour played in Pittsburgh. 2,000 small American flags were handed out at the start of the game. Hopefully their lottery tickets have a few winners. They handed out 1,000 of those from the Pennsylvania Lottery to fans over the age of 18 as they walk through the gate in Pittsburgh. And then post-game fireworks and autographs after the fact outside the Monongahela. Nice night at the field. Alex Martinez pass intercepted. Kerr got it forward. If you're Pittsburgh, how do you break up spells of passing beyond simple pressure? Is that really all you can do?
I think it is just the pressure, and right now, though, the opportunity for Charlotte.
Martinez! Great save by Robinson. Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, big save by that point.
This save is brought
Martinez
to you
from
by
just about 25 right there. That looked like it was destined for the top corner. Great, great save by Robinson. That should make him feel pretty good and welcome him to town.
That feel better than claiming a cross?
I think a little bit better, yeah. And at least it wasn't on that first touch. That may have been a bit of a different story in the first 5 minutes, but maybe he's getting into the feel of the game as well.
Well, Robinson a little more comfortable now. Jorge Herrera, 3 assists on the year. Will go short this time. Martinez. Well, Alex couldn't do what Enzo did, test the goalkeeper. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the United Soccer League. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. When you were a goalkeeper, you had those high pink Nike socks, right?
It's a pet peeve of mine is the same color from head to toe. All of the shorts are slightly with a little bit more of a black tint in those pinks, so it's not all one Sharpie-like material. The highlighter material.
Not even my highlighter can get there.
Yeah. But I've been, again, I guess it tells you how old I am as well. I like to have the team socks and the team shorts on, and I'll wear the different jersey. But that is truly old. Now I just said how old I was, didn't I? Without saying an age. I do like the different styles, though, a little bit, though. Just you kind of see that. You like to see the individual flair. So I like to see a goalkeeper maybe stray away from what the typical goalkeeper's doing nowadays.
Header back, and it's scissored towards the net. Well, luckily Mizell was paying attention.
I think Corey maybe thought he was, Herzog may have thought he was about 20 out as opposed to 30 out.
Lewis Hilton ahead for Johnson.
we're seeing here through the first 34 minutes, Mike, is that at least what these teams attacking, obviously Charlotte going with the possession and maybe try and find a hole, where Pittsburgh, their opportunities are really kind of either come either off the counterattack or a turnover into an end zone. So that seems to be, at least early on, what might need to happen.
There is the turnover. Parks. Gomez is working up the right wing, and the pass had the wires crossed.
Parks just seems a little slow. Not that he had a lot of help, but that maybe Herzog running down the left side may well have had the opportunity there first.
Of course. 0-0 between Pittsburgh and Charlotte in the 35th minute. The Independents on that winning streak. Pittsburgh finally getting off the 5-game winless streak with their win over Tampa Bay last time out.
You know, you get those wins, you like to be able to get back out there. It's been a little bit of time, the 12 days as we talked about, but still right now holding their own.
Gomez playing with Green. Bosamande, now Green. That captain's armband is flailing in the wind for Kerr.
Yeah, I don't like the fact it's a white. Looks like he's surrendering to something.
Not yet. Gomez. Gomez sends it low. Not nearly a corner. And it did get out. So a corner kick to Pittsburgh out of something that initially waved the white flag of surrender.
There you go. That's why you put those balls across. You don't know what the bounce is going to be. And again, on the turf, just seems to maybe take a little unusual skip as you try to control it. And that's what happened to Charlotte right there, is that it was off the left foot and eventually over the line for the corner kick. He's got his armband fixed. That's the good news.
Some Scotch tape will do it. So Kerr will look to put it back in play. Plenty of options for the Riverhound captain. Kerr drives it, headed down. It's kicked towards the net. Mizell. And Herzog got another look at it. The clearance off his back, and now it's whistled as a handball the other way against Herzog. But that was an easy save for Mizell, if not for his own defender.
Yeah, and it looks like when Mizell was waiting on his line, and the ball didn't come in that fast, and the goalkeeper, or excuse me, his defender, really stepped into the body of Mizell. And you wonder if Mizell may have had a little trouble seeing it into that sun, and that's what the defender was worried about. Let's go. Let's just get it off. It's very close to the line.
Johnson spins away. Hollingsworth, who had vacated the outside back position, he's back in. Slid out by Jack. Through for Hilton. Hollingsworth tries to spring Parks. Parks is still coming. Mizell dives, yanks it in.
Good job by the defense for Charlotte to utilize their goalkeeper.
Sellout crowd in Pittsburgh tonight. 39th minute, Charlotte trying to move forward and find the first goal of the match. It hung up. Well, Johnson thought he had earned a corner, and I think he stepped over the line with the ball on his shoulder blade.
Yeah, it looked like they were playing past the orange right there at the end. A little chest bump between the both of them, and hey, you're out of bounds. So. Don't think I've seen a couple of opponents like that go out there. Could be running up and down the field with it.
What was that game? Pass the orange?
Yeah, then you would like put it between underneath your chin, and you had to pass it over to the next person. It went boy, girl, of course. So pass it to the girl.
Through ball for Martinez. He cuts it across the grain. Slid into the net, and Charlotte's got the lead. Put in by Martinez. The brother Martinez celebrating an Independence goal on Independence Day.
Well, we've talked about the careless play at the back of Charlotte that Pittsburgh just hasn't been able to counter on. But here's a ball just played back. Gomez tried to control it going down, and the touch a little bit beyond him. And we talked about how good he had been. That ball just not good as it spun away, and there's Martinez able to get it past
Charlotte's Independence goal scored by number 19.
It's Enzo Martinez. And with Gomez's touch, it won't likely be an assist for Alex. But in the 40th minute, Charlotte takes the lead.
You see Robinson talking with it, but Monday just clear it out. And that was the same thing what I talked about earlier, is play it over the back line of the goalkeeper and see if there's going to be communication issues. And just from that conversation between Robinson and Monday, it appears there may have been. Saying to clear it out as it is, we see Charlotte able to get the ball across, and then a missed touch and eventually the goal.
This seems like a long distance, but if you're Kerr with the sun at your back,
it does bring it back into play, but you make sure that your guys are running in. If you're going to play it in, you may drive it in and just force Mizell, because at that point does it dip down, but you're going to try and go the traditional route.
And a corner coming as the Independents got a piece of it on the way over the end line.
Corey Herzog looking for a penalty call, saying he was held on the ball through. Not going to get that, though.
Kerr tried to go through the legs of Alex Martinez. Not this time.
Don't understand that. You've got 6 bodies in the box and you play it back. You never get a ball across.
Off the hand of Parks. Belongs to Charlotte. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting USLsoccer.com or follow on Twitter at USL.
When you look at the standings here, it's obviously a much more critical game for Pittsburgh, having a couple games more played than Charlotte. Charlotte higher in the standings as well. You want to try and get into that top 8. Right now, Charlotte on the result, and still obviously more than a half to play, staring at 3rd place here in the USL Eastern Division, with the fewest games played, along with Louisville, in that top 8.
Kalungi's back pass, making Mizell work.
That one may have hit the river.
Yeah, I think that's going downstream, isn't it?
It might be. Get that little additional. There's more room. We haven't seen a train go by. Maybe they're getting Independence Day off.
Parks for Solto. Touched over to Herzog. Lifts it well over the bar.
One Corey Herzog would like back. Just leaned back a little bit too far. Somehow that ball able to find across, but that opportunity is we get a look at Herzog and the opportunity he had. You can see he's waiting on it, and there's just leaning back and never able to get over the top of it and well over the bar.
Well, Pittsburgh went into this lengthy break, 12 days away, and Dave Brandt's entire focus was on defensive presence, positioning, and making sure everybody knew where they needed to be. Outside of the one true mistake thus far, I'd say Pittsburgh has probably done that pretty well.
I would agree, and again, I just think that and Charlotte may have wanted to test them a little bit more, just playing it over that back line and force that communication, because that is such a underrated issue perhaps, and we see it come into play. But with the new goalkeeper, your central defenders, and it did come back to bite them.
Johnson. Enzo Martinez, he's got the goal in the 40th. No stoppage time scheduled in the first half, so this will be the Independence's opportunity. Enzo Martinez cut it across. And we've reached halftime. Overarching thoughts on the first 45, Mike?
Yeah, I think it's Charlotte, obviously the better team in possession. They still didn't create a lot of opportunities on net. The one fantastic shot by Enzo Martinez and the great save by Robinson. But it was just the persistence. Martinez still running in, a loose ball in the box, and they able to get the goal.
Adewole is looked at on the field. There's the man of the 45 minutes. Enzo Martinez scores in the 40th minute. Gomez touching it back towards the net. Alex finds Enzo, and the Independents have a 1-goal lead, trying to protect a 4-game unbeaten streak. Highlights when we come back.
With hundreds and hundreds of pre-owned vehicles for every budget, Number One Cochran is the one and only place you need to shop.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
Stay low, stay low, change of speed, explode, explode, trust it. Very nice, very nice.
Call 412-DOCTORS for an appointment with an orthopedic specialist at Allegheny Health Network.
You could spend lots of time searching lots of used car websites, or just visit Cochran.com to see lots and lots of vehicles.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
Halftime in Pittsburgh, 1-0 to Charlotte on this Independence Day matchup, the lone July 4th game in the United Soccer League. Beautiful scenes of the Steel City. Mike Watts, Mike Pepper with you. We take a look at our halftime statistics. And to nobody's surprise, Charlotte, a team with the major possession advantage. Talking with Dave Brandt during the week, he knew that Charlotte was beginning to click offensively. There were times where you saw that in the first half.
Yeah, I thought that Pittsburgh really, maybe the first 10 minutes, the better team of it, but after that, it was Charlotte really controlled the pace of play. And it was that pace of play that they continued to allow the opportunities. Obviously, when their own third, a couple turnovers really allowed Pittsburgh to get a couple shots off, but nothing ever really had to test Cody Mizell.
Mizell's lone real opportunity to make a save was also headed away from the line by a Charlotte defender. So in the end, it was a good first half for Pittsburgh with one big mistake notwithstanding. Charlotte's got a 1-0 lead. We'll have highlights from the half that was in a couple moments.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment
to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey, she's cute. Nice going, man. Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch, that'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. Innovative technology and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Highmark Stadium. What a beautiful day it is for USL soccer. What a day for Independence Day. But it's Charlotte with a 1-0 lead over the hometown Pittsburgh side. Mike Watts, Mike Pepper back with you. And how about this coming Thursday night? The USL on a national stage yet again. Tampa Bay and FC Cincinnati. A ton of intrigue in that game, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. Look at FC Cincinnati, kind of like the darling of the soccer world, making their way through the U.S. Open Cup, getting a couple results. These two teams drew early in the year in Cincinnati in a game that you saw.
That's right. And will Marcel Schaefer have another jaw-dropping goal? Well, it won't be at Nippert, but maybe at Al Lang this time around. A budding rivalry in the USL. We'll look back at the highlights from the first half of this one when we come back.
With hundreds and hundreds of pre-owned vehicles for every budget, Number One Cochran is the one and only place you need to shop.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
Can you hear me? Yeah. How many times have you done it before? You good? Yeah. Okay. You got 50 seconds. Yep, just stay here for a little bit. Hold it for that. Yeah.
Call 412 Doctors for an appointment with a sports medicine specialist at Allegheny Health Network.
Through the years, you've done right by investing in your home. And now, you can use that equity to borrow money for the things you need. With a low 1.99% APR and no fees, you can apply for a home equity loan online and use the money to upgrade to that minivan, make home improvements, or finance college. At Clearview, we can help you find ways to use the equity in your home for more important things. Let us help. Visit us online for more information. Clearview Federal Union, the next generation of personal banking.
You could spend lots of time searching lots of used car websites. Or just visit Cochran.com to see lots and lots of vehicles.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
The Steel Army in front of the Steel City. Riverhounds trail Charlotte 1-0 at halftime. Mike Watts back with Mike Pepper. How about we look at how the first half went here in Pittsburgh? And early, Pittsburgh got a couple of chances. It felt like they were getting something going. Charlotte, for the most part, did well to hold on to the ball. In this case, they did not, and Herzog nearly made them pay.
Yeah, this left-footed strike was outstanding and just missed the near post. But again, it came off a Charlotte turnover in midfield or in their own half.
We move forward. Martinez turning it over, and right back to his foot. Enzo Martinez wouldn't cash in here. Neither would Alex.
That was Robinson's first opportunity to get a touch on it, so he was able to get that ball from going across in front of the net.
Well, sometimes it's good to claim a cross if you're a goalkeeper making his first appearance for a new club.
This was a great strike, Mike.
Herrera playing it back to Martinez, and a great save, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Robinson really, and it's bending away from him and had to get that hand on it.
Kerr finding Herzog, 2 opportunities. Mizell almost a bit of a gaff there with the defender.
Yeah, he seemed to be waiting on a little bit. And again, into the sun right there, the defender making sure, hey, that's your job. You keep it off. Almost cost him.
Moving forward, Robinson on the goal kick. And the ball found its way forward rather quickly for the Independents when they did get their forces going in the right direction.
Yeah, there's the thing. It was a good ball, and Alex played it in, and just that miscommunication there. But again, over the back of the defender, that communication from the new goalkeeper into what's happening. Don't know if that was the part on it, but that ball's got to go away from it right there instead of trying to keep possession.
So Gomez with a bit of a mistake, and Alex finds Enzo ultimately in the 40th minute for the lone goal of the opening 45 minutes, and goal number 7 of the year for him. We look forward for the Charlotte Independents. They're back to Matthews at 7 p.m. on the 8th against St. Louis. On the road to New York and Harrisburg, home against a really cellar-dwelling Richmond Kickers, and at Bethlehem who found their way up the standings.
And you look at it here, they had games in hand. We're going to see 5 more games played in July. They just played already 1, 2. They had 7 games in the month. That's a good stretch. They're going to be very busy, but if they can start taking advantage of results, they're going to climb more, even higher than the 3rd they reside right now this minute.
I think Charlotte would expect to get a fair number of points out of that. Here's the upcoming Pittsburgh schedule. They got 3-game road swing coming up.
Yeah, 4 of the next 5 away from home. That's what makes this game tonight so critical. So we'll see what those changes Dave Brandt might do. Not some easy opponents, too, when you look at 3 of those teams, 4 of those teams ahead of them, at least in Rochester, Charleston, Tampa Bay. Bethlehem still, too.
That's right. In that home game against Charleston, nothing in terms of expecting points there. Why? Because they're top of the Eastern Conference with 10 wins. They are the lone team in the conference right now that Charlotte, with their games in hand, cannot catch.
Yeah, and that's the key part here when you start to see those standings with Charlotte really making a nice little run. You see Ottawa, FC Cincinnati's too. They had a couple games that, and to their little advantage, Cincinnati had struggles early, but they could be moving back into it. Louisville City still has a couple of games in hand as well.
And a note, Tampa Bay Rowdies lead the league in games played. In the Western Conference, Real Monarchs had that 9-game winning streak. Well, that's kind of gone by the wayside. A couple of defeats and draws of late. San Antonio saw their 14-game unbeaten streak at the start of the year snapped. But it's a little top-heavy, and then again, like the East, it all condenses around the playoff line.
It really does. You see Tulsa, which did beat Real the other night, get back into that little contention. Reno with the result last night. You talked about 9-0, but Swope Park, Reno, and Sacramento seem to be those teams on the move in the Western Conference.
Let's take a look at the teams that are playing the best soccer right now, according to USLsoccer.com. And with Real Monarchs' most recent defeat, you'd think these will look a little different next week.
Yeah, no, and that might be a little bit. Charleston getting that opportunity in the East where it's a little more compact to get there. But as we mentioned, those teams, Swope Park, Sacramento, and Reno, they've really kind of moved in to compete with those top 4 teams, which have been pretty consistently the top 4 throughout most of the year.
Well, Louisville City, another win over the midweek, sitting in that 4 spot. And Charleston atop the Eastern Conference. Charlotte looking to move as high as 3rd. And for Pittsburgh, 3 points put them right back into playoff position. I spoke to Dave Brandt this week, and I asked him about that 5-game upcoming stretch. He said the next 3, 4, 5 games won't necessarily make or break our entire season. But he did admit last year we were mathematically alive for a lot longer than I would have expected. He wants to see them get points now so that it's not a question of how long are we mathematically alive.
I absolutely 100% agree with that. And when he's talking about it, but when we just see again for those next 5 games, 4 of them away here from Highmark Stadium, that's a key part. And you have to do what we see in this league. You have to take care of your home games. And right now, they're on the wrong side of a 1-0 result through 45 minutes.
And this is the center point of the Pittsburgh season. June Marquez Davidson and the Charlotte side possessing the ball the way they likely would have hoped coming in. They've got their goal. Can Pittsburgh take it to Charlotte in this second half?
You know, I noticed there, Mike, Mac Robinson not wearing the hat. And looks like he's going to have a little bit of time with that sun pretty much low in the sky. You can see his teammates have to hold it over their eyes right there just at midfield. Might be a test for Robinson, even more so than he was looking for.
That's just for the pre-kick discussion between Parks and Kerr, which let's actually have in a play. We're underway in the second half between Charlotte and the Riverhounds. Parks retreating, gets it from Solto. Parks through. Kerr was offside.
Recognized it there, a couple yards, and stopped his run when he knew it. Too late.
Mizell wasn't a good sport and gave his hat to the other keeper.
Hey, you got to think of those things ahead of time. Got to think of those things ahead of time.
His second year with Charlotte. Spent some time in Iceland as well, Mizell did. Hollingsworth. Jack. Got it out. Parks. Carried ahead by Gomez. Square ball for Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth drives the area, steps over, lost his footing, but got the cross in now. Bounces back to Solto. Parks. Good spell of possession to start the half for Pittsburgh. And as I say that, Hilton steps in and nearly took it away from Parks.
I don't like my striker having possession of the ball 40 yards away from net. They seem to have dropped him back a little bit behind Herzog.
Solto. Hilton constricting the flow of the Pittsburgh offense now. Parks will try the right, and Kerr lines the cross in for Herzog. The save is terrific from Mizell. Herzog is robbed.
Herzog there at the 12, and he was the target there. And look at that, able to put it on, could not find a corner, but Mizell with the proper angle and just able to get it around the post, considering he's about a yard off his line.
Into the 49th minute. Kerr high arcing off of Ikbusamande. Out to Martinez, the goal scorer in this affair, back in the 40th. Estrada.
But that, we were that close to having our players to watch. Martinez already scoring, and Corey Herzog just that close from equalizing.
Mike Pepper almost looked like a real genius.
I get help. The staff's right there helping out with everything. Just fall into something sometimes.
That's right. Somewhere our producer, Abe Aponte, nods approvingly, I'm sure. Well, we take all the credit, but sometimes it's Jonathan and Mark and Abe, terrific crew in Pittsburgh, deserve the true credit. Long ball, looking for Herzog. Johnson slips down. Kerr keeps, squares. Parks trying to clip it back. Hollingsworth touched outside to Kerr by Herzog. Kerr, the cross too high for Parks. I could be onto something there with Kevin Kerr dealing from distance.
Sitting it into the area, that was a little dangerous ball on the near post run, though. No one running in behind it, but it was tough because the forwards were still back trying to gain possession of it. We'll see how they're able to react here into the 50th minute.
The Riverhounds would like to wish a happy 40th birthday to Brian Lind, a happy birthday to Sarah Deal, a happy 15th birthday to Grace Boucher, and a happy 13th birthday to Lyndon Gaskill.
Robinson skims off the head of Solto. Herzog had his pass intercepted. Hilton up the right-hand side. It's Estrada cutting it back. And now the long-range effort is way off frame from Hilton. Would come up from behind.
Properly trailing it, but don't know if he just misjudged it or what, but not able to get over the top of it.
Solto back in the order, long awaited. Dave Brandt said last week, 10 minutes against Tampa Bay in a 1-0 game didn't really make like a lot of sense to him in terms of getting Solto's feet wet. Instead, opting to start him on this July 4th game, which he had targeted the better part of a month ago for his return. 5 in gold. Over the top toward Herzog. Brought down by Duckett. Back pass intercepted. Hollingsworth plays it to the top of the box. Parks sends it to Heinz Field.
Again, it was another Independence turner. They seem to be innocuous, have possession there, and Pittsburgh just not able to put it on target. Saw the look of relief out of Mizell's eyes as he's coming into angle and second it left Park's foot. You could just say, okay, I can relax.
Bounces down to Hilton. Hey fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the United Soccer League. Tune into USL Coast to Coast, Mondays 9 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM FC Channel 85. And don't forget, SiriusXM FC airs the USL Game of the Week. USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Parks was held up.
If you want, I can read that promo because that Coast to Coast is with Mike Watts.
Well, yeah. Come to look at it, I omitted that from the read.
It's a busy night, busy Monday, Tuesday for you, that's for sure.
Mike and Mike on this Tuesday night. Watts and Pepper. Through for Martinez, slid further back dangerously. There's Robinson. Comes down to Kerr. Couple players in an offside position in front of him.
He's got that beard. The bearded one has the goal.
Enzo scoring yet again, 7th goal of the year. Into the top 5 in the league. Johnson has gotten behind Hollingsworth. Jack, the hard step. Turned it over, Enzo Martinez. Slid down and remarkably still kept it. Pushed ahead now by Estrada. Martinez along the end line.
I think he's saying he didn't, but I thought before he tried to send that ball across, it did go over the line. A little too nonchalant. It's a good run. He stayed with it at that point and able to get the second ball back to him. Maybe a little too casual there. It was a good idea to bring it in, but I think right there it did good across the line.
Can't really blame Macklin Robinson for the goal allowed earlier to Charlotte. He's done his job thus far.
And I think, again, it was the combination of Gomez and Robinson, two players who have yet to start for this team, and it's the miscommunication, maybe not quite used to the turf a little bit. We saw the ball spin off the foot of Gomez back into play for Martinez.
Taylor Washington awaits on the near touchline, waiting to come on for Pittsburgh. Bouncing ball that Busamande forced away from Martinez. Busamande looks a bit banged up behind the play. Might be called right back into service. Carried ahead by Estrada. Johnson sends it low past Estrada. Ball is clipped right in to Robinson. Hollingsworth comes back on.
Not able to get anything on that shot.
Well, David Estrada pushes ahead, 4 goals on the year. Couple in the last game, that win over Rochester in Matthews. 12th in the 25th minute in a 2-1 win. Paul Fall scoring the other goal midway through the second half. It wasn't enough for the Rhinos in the end. That overcoming their earlier 4-0 defeat at the hands of Rochester. The Capelli Sports Stadium, 7 games back. Since then, they've had a quite remarkable run, the Independents. Appears to be the wake-up call they were looking for.
It is a long season, and you'll see when those games in hand, it'll be difficult to go on a Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday opportunity and get the results you want in all 3 games. But it is nice to know
You can
that
take
you
part
have
in
that
voting for
opportunity
tonight's
with those
Cleveland
players in front of you,
Brothers
with those
Blue
games in
Collar
front of you.
Player of the Game. Go to hashtag Pittsburgh Riverhounds on Twitter.
Enzo Martinez bodies off Green. Martinez shoots it low. Robinson slides down and makes the stop.
Well, defense very shaky here, continuing to back off, and at some point you got to step up. That might be a case here, and again, looking into the sun, does Robinson not tell Agbusa-Monday to jump forward?
The other way, ball caroms from the foot of Hollingsworth off of Duckett.
It may have gone off of Hollingsworth, it appears. Oh, I was wrong.
So Duckett will stay down.
Area U soccer players, join us for the Kick It 3v3 Northeast Free.
Doesn't feel good on grass. I can't imagine that fall feels good on turf.
No, it is amazing what the turf does now. It's so much different, but
Kerr header down off of Davidson, and Herzog again the target on a corner.
You know, it's surprising Corey's not the tallest player, but he's been on the good side of these headers, just not able to find a side netting at all.
To register, go to 3v3soccer.com.
Oh, look at that. Can't place that any better. Off the flag, force the ball all the way in the corner. Now to pinch in the defense. Charlotte's going to force the Pittsburgh out the hard way.
Yeah, that was totally planned, right?
Yeah. Sometimes. And Hollingsworth looks like he's out for this one.
Yeah, Hollingsworth had skinned up his knee a little bit earlier, it appeared. Siobhan Walsh is on. Scored his first in the league pretty early against the Rowdies last time out. Marshall Hollingsworth comes off.
Number 9, Chevy Walsh. And for number 25, Marshall Hollingsworth.
Well, it's obviously another forward into this point. We've seen Parks kind of drop back a little bit. I would imagine we'll see Walsh up top along with Herzog. But Pittsburgh trying to add a couple of offensive weapons.
Davidson is too high for Alex Martinez. Green's pass knocked away, lifted upfield. It is a penalty.
Well, turnover, careless turnover, and that's going to result in the penalty kick.
Herrera wants a card. What did Agbusa-Monday do?
Just cleats into the hip. You see, he's saying it was outside the area, and he may have a point, but action into the area. No doubt it was a foul. You could see cleats into it. So Agbusa-Monday will go in the book.
Agbusa-Monday has been sent off once this year. It's the man who was just cleated in the side. Herrera have a chance to add another goal. Double the Charlotte lead. For his 5th of the year.
And look at this, Gomez trying to step in front of him. Is this a little mind game? He's saying the ball's across the line.
Gomez just 20 years old. He's got something to him, doesn't he?
A little bit.
He'll leave the box. Jorge Herrera looks for his 5th goal of the year against Robinson. Herrera. And Robinson guessed wrong. Herrera cashes in. He drew the penalty. He converts the penalty. Independence lead 2-0.
Well, calmly able to find the corner. A lot of times looks like, I don't know if Robinson was waiting to see if he was going the wrong way, or at least maybe he thought he might go up the middle, trying to hold ground. Perhaps, and don't want to look at that, but into the sun a little bit. Is he maybe frozen a little bit by that sun? But nevertheless, they find themselves trailing by 2, Mike, and in a time here in the last half hour, they're really going to have to press forward in order to get something out of this one.
So Herrera scores his 5th of the year. Robinson, hard done tonight if this is how the score line ends.
Well, unfortunate. Obviously, a bad bounce on the first one, a penalty on the second one. But the turnover again in the third is what did Pittsburgh in. They gave it away in front of the net. We've seen Charlotte give it away 3 times in their own third, but Pittsburgh not able to put anything on net here in the giveaway for the Riverhounds. Charlotte converts.
Well, it's worth noting tonight's game is not an instance where VAR can be used. Of course, the common fan really became most acquainted with it as Mizell rockets the ball down the other way with Confederations Cup, and it was a bit of a mixed bag in truth. The USL hasn't used it often, but it is in use in a handful of games, and of course MLS is going to be using it by the end of the year.
It might be in use on your Thursday night game this week, I believe.
That is the plan. Hey, soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Shannon Gomez having words with Alex Martinez. Gomez making a bit of a name for himself at the present moment. Alex Martinez goading him on a bit. Well, some tempers flaring now.
Yeah, still. Herzog and Alex Martinez, it appears, are the 2 primary players being talked to right now.
Gomez offered by NYCFC. Came over a couple of weeks ago. First appearance with the club. The outside back position. Tosses it in, and we're back to play.
While walking through a 20-foot inflatable brain.
Kerr came away. Walsh got his hand up, hit Hilton.
Now it will be on Walsh. You did see the and the ball played into him. Now that's going to be a card, I think.
At minimum.
Oh, well, it was pretty obvious on the replay. Little face shove. It was like almost like, and I think he may have gotten away with the face shove on the first one.
A yellow card's coming, and the 4th official is standing right there too.
A yellow card has been issued.
I do think, though, it was just for the ball 9, kicked back
Chevy
into
Walsh.
play. Even though this is a cautionable offense right here, or maybe even an objectionable offense, it was the play where Walsh basically just played the ball back into the down player in Hilton.
You know, I've spoken with Dave Brand about it before. He says, I hate yellow cards. I hate fouls. It reeks of indiscipline. Well, another yellow card to his Pittsburgh side. Parks. Walsh, what a pass to spring through Herzog, who lifts it looking for Parks, knocks it back to Kerr, who shoots. The curler knocked away by Duckett. That's as good as Pittsburgh's attack has looked all night.
It has been. And, you know, it was the right pass, the right play in just about every situation. Don't know if the shot would have made it around the goalkeeper, but it was well attempted there by the Riverhounds, and they will get the corner kick out of it.
2 players looking to kick this in. No, it's Kerr and a dog. Kerr over at Bustamante. Extra pass to Solto. Closed out well. Herzog. Solto heads it back to Parks. A rocket into the suites.
Well, it's good movement there. A little unfortunate for the Riverhounds. Just couldn't quite get it past one of the defenders in that sense, but they were able to set up, and it was an opportunity. So those dangerous chances now coming for them a little bit, but they are having to chase that result right now.
Down a goal just before halftime out of Wale. 40th minute, the goal from Enzo Martinez. And Jorge Herrera from the penalty spot in the 62nd, doubling the advantage for an Independent side intent on their 4th straight win.
In 3rd place with 3 games in hand on 4th place.
Mizell throws the ball onto the other side. Not a bad place for Charlotte to be with those games in hand. I mean, Mike Jeffries will say it sounds easier in maybe a vocal sense than an actual action to take advantage of those games in hand, but you'd rather have them than not.
Yeah. And that's just getting a point, and particularly on the road games, that would be key. But right now they're in line to get away with all 3 points.
I mean, you said look at July, how many games they have.
Yeah, another 5. This is their 2nd.
Walsh back for Parks. Parks creates space and shoots. Mizell, the reaction to lift it over.
If you're Mizell, you're ecstatic tonight that every dangerous opportunity has been at you, but he has had the right angle, and again, not making any mistake about it. Pittsburgh's got to find a way to find somewhere just to the right or left of the goalkeeper and force him to go down to make that save.
Well, will Herzog be the target again? Kerr, Agbusamande.
2 hands on the shoulder.
Went over the top of Kalungi. The USL is one of the most prominent 2nd division professional leagues in the world. It features some of the game's top talent and its rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information. Visit USLsoccer.com.
Visiting the new USLsoccer.com for everything you need to know about
Not really sure on Agbusamande on that. I mean, when you have hands on the shoulder, you're going to get called, much more likely to get called anyway. And when you have 2 hands up, it's going to get called every time. The referee's looking for a reason to bring that ball out of the area.
I've never heard it put that way.
It's a little frustrating to me, but we'll watch Charlotte here.
Lifted over the box and handled.
Yeah, you see every rule, whether it be offsides, whether it be the advantage or so, of trying to allow the offensive players to go. But how many times do you watch an attacking player on a corner kick that comes in behind, and whether they make contact or not, the referee seems to blow something if the player goes down?
Hilton goes down, edge of the area, tells him to get up.
I would agree with that no call.
Robinson on 1 day alone. Barbados has Kiesel Broom right now. Trey Mitchell, victim of a shoulder injury in pregame warm-ups before the most recent game 12 days ago for the Riverhounds. Parks, Johnson slid in. Johnson's going into the book for a yellow card in the 71st.
That will slow it down a little bit, but Johnson, if he didn't take down Parks, Parks was in. There were defenders behind, so good call here by the referee. Another look at
A
it there.
yellow card has been issued to Charlotte Independent's number 22, Joel Johnson.
The fact that Kalungi was behind it saved the red card. The Riverhounds can't let any more of these chances really go without putting one in.
Kerr. Backstopped by Gomez, a line drive, takes a deflection. Kerr wants to move quickly now. Kerr. Not a good clearance, but there was a reason why, says the official. Martinez was fouled as Spies and Ekra prepare to come on.
Again, another example of the referee looking for a reason to send that ball out, allow it. Didn't seem to be much, seemed to be more of a clumsy play, but you're around the ball.
Alex Martinez, that's enough.
Number 17, David Spies, in for number 11, David Estrada.
And David Estrada is done. Charlotte hosts St. Louis on the weekend. So perhaps all the games right now for the Independents playing into that decision.
In for number 23, Alex Martinez.
Well, we talked about the Independents having played. It was a rained, delayed game, so they didn't finish till around midnight on Saturday night, then having to travel here to Pittsburgh. But having that 2-goal lead's allowing them to get rest for a couple of these midfielders that played the whole game, or at least quite a bit of it the other night.
Charlotte right now, one of 4 teams in the East and 6 teams in the USL with an unbeaten streak of 4 games or longer. Inspired soccer of late from Charlotte in spite of a difficult schedule. It's a heavily rotated lineup from their most recent game. Walsh playing through the Parks. It drew him wide. Kerr, one touch. Ran in to Spies. They had played advantage.
Good job by the referee to allow, but with the ball going away from the net. Decides that it is time for the free kick.
Kerr had it out, and before it found Jack, an extra touch. Mekra.
I was going to say the key is possession, not always an advantage.
Herzog bounces to Mizell. It's out of Wale. Was stalking nearby. Quarter of an hour to go. Charlotte's got this 2-goal lead. Garnered first in the 40th minute and doubled in the 62nd. Herzog. And it comes to Enzo Martinez. He had that first goal. He's got room now. Enzo Martinez with a rip. Robinson pulls it in. It was kicked out of his hands after the fact by Estrada.
Referee did blow the whistle for the foul, but did have his hand on it. Should be a caution, or should be a foul.
Redesigned, reimagined, and refined. The Q5 exudes style inside and out. Now with special introductory offers only at Audi Pittsburgh in Dormont.
Davidson for Yearwood. Not his best effort. Gomez claimed it and played to Green. Walsh chesting it for Parks. Estrada, ultimately Enzo Martinez was streaking through. Kerr dispossessed by Spies. Fires in to Herzog. Walsh. Walsh scoops by. Backing into Johnson.
Shirt pulling there in the box there. Dangerous by Charlotte.
Solto. Tackle in the box. Herzog went down. The official never blew his whistle.
I didn't think originally anything obvious there, Mike, but another look at it here. Here, I thought right there, the shirt tug. But this opportunity, maybe Corey did create that contact, so can't say that that was an obvious penalty, although Herzog pleading his case right now. Sometimes, though, you wonder, Mike, you already a penalty the other way. Do you get a call for something like that? I kind of applaud that no decision there.
Well, Pittsburgh didn't find their first goal back there. Instead, they'll defend Herrera's corner kick. And they do go short. It's lifted from distance. Robinson knocked it down. Duckett tried to get a shot in. Enzo Martinez appeared the initial beneficiary of the pass.
I am right here. The fourth official might say something. Siobhan Walsh has already got a yellow card. He just threw a vicious elbow right in the box at one of the Charlotte players. Now, granted, one of the Charlotte players had competed for the ball, and in doing so may have took him off his feet right there. But it was an obvious elbow here. He's lucky he's not ejected.
Herrera, he put it in from the corner. Jorge Herrera, the Olympico, and Charlotte leads 3-0.
Traffic on the near post brought Robinson up, and on the leap, it went over him. One of those perfectly placed
Charlotte
balls.
Independence goal scored
Stunned
by number 10,
silence
Jorge
at
Herrera.
Highmark Stadium from this.
You look at Green, who was on the back post, may have been frozen by the streaking Charlotte player inside him. So instead of challenging, holding his ground to head it out, maybe it stepped up. And right now, Charlotte, you can say they're your third place team in the East.
With a 3-0 lead against Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Walsh right now, it appears his goal is to stay in this game because he's looking for the last few minutes for ways to make that not be the case.
I don't think he will. I think there's no chance he'll stay in there after watching that.
The City of Pittsburgh fireworks display.
A hand to the face, a kick the ball into the back, and an elbow thrown that was just, he was fortunate that was not seen.
Happy 4th of July.
Lifted over to Herzog. Spins the ball to Parks. Jack. There's Estrada, man of the hour. It's one thing to score on a set piece. It's another thing to score both a penalty and spin a corner in all on your lonesome. Hey, fans, stay up to date. Do you want to read this one?
I'll read this
I
one
think
for
you should read this one.
Fans, you can stay up to date with the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM FC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget, SiriusXM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times.
High likelihood you're going to be hearing that on the show on Monday night. With Mike Pepper, Mike Watts on this Independence Day. Later this week, there's going to be an all-Canada derby, a belated Happy Canada Day from the weekend. Got to spend that with Lee Godfrey, the Rowdies analyst.
I forgot to wish it to him on Saturday, so I did today on America's birthday.
Back to Mizell. One of those aforementioned, potentially unnecessary dives down. Well, Mizell's done well to keep himself a clean sheet to this point.
Yes, he's been in good position, and that's what it is. I mean, we talked about diving when you're not having to, but a lot of that is just your angles. You create angle play, and that's what angles, crosses, and distribution. There's your 3 keys to goalkeeping. Don't forget that. Angles, crosses, distribution. Angles, crosses, distribution. You get those down, you'll have a very good career.
There's 3 keys to your wardrobe as well as a goalkeeper. Talk about that in a minute. It's Parks. Plays it low. Herzog couldn't corral it. Good socks, good hat, and good colors.
We saw the hat and the socks today. And the colors, I mean, honestly, I don't think there's a highlighter set on either of these goalkeepers that would get away with it.
It's Ben Fitzpatrick for Pittsburgh. Romeo Parks is done.
Oh, okay. I was looking at 9 coming in. I thought they were bringing Walsh out at that point already because of the – but I got that confused on
the board.
Charlotte player coming in.
That's right. Casey Townsend has come on, acquired on loan from Cincinnati. And Jorge Herrera's seen his day come to a close. He likely won't forget the second goal he scored.
Charlotte independent sub, number 9, Casey Townsend, in for number 10, Jorge Herrera.
Fitzpatrick shows himself. Now Herzog is sprinting over to the official. He's saying that was a cleat getting high.
I would agree with him. I think that was Fitzpatrick there, but I do agree. I thought that cleat was high.
And there was no whistle on it at all. So Gomez will throw. The fans are literally right in the action. Fitzpatrick, the header. Couldn't keep it in play.
You know, anytime you can go on the road and get a result, it's very impressive. But you got to even like a little bit more Charlotte on such short rest. Here working this 3-0 lead. Great job by them. They've had this streak going of the games and continuing it here in Pittsburgh.
Oh, do they have another one in them? Enzo Martinez from distance. Parried aside
Benjamin Sarkozy, you can pick up
by Robinson.
In the box office in the team building. Again, Benjamin Sarkozy, you pick up your wallet at the box office.
Checking my pocket. It sure wasn't mine.
First 1,000 fans got a lottery ticket from the Pennsylvania Lottery, but for the rest of us.
Wonder if Benjamin had that winning ticket there.
Walsh finding Solto, navigating in tight quarters. Solto back on the ball, looking for Fitzpatrick, lost by Duckett. Push from Fitzpatrick on Walsh. Yeah, Martinez earns the throw. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, mosey on down to NikeSoccer.com. Johnson's throw, Spees the clever touch. Townsend fouling at Busamonde. Line drive forward for a Pittsburgh side, seemingly intent on not finishing with a 3-goal deficit. Kerr.
Ultimately, now it looks like it's just something if you can get something on the board and maybe try and grab some sort of confidence with that upcoming schedule with all the road games in front of you.
A team that's now failed to win in all 7 instances in which they conceded at first. But more importantly, a team that in May was in playoff position, and injuries have really ravaged this Pittsburgh side. Sellout crowd tonight as they finally begin to get healthy. McKay Banjo still out. Abuchi Abinwa is unavailable tonight, but is close as well. And then a couple guys like Joe Greenspan, who played so well for them early in the year, recalled by Minnesota United.
And goalkeeper issues, of course.
Not that Macklin Robinson is among the top 10 issues on the field tonight.
No, I would say the third goal was very difficult. You can't really give up the direct kick, although it was well taken by Herrera.
Walsh, a little hand fighting. Shoves in on Johnson. He's looking for a shirt tug. Walsh has been a bull in a china shop tonight.
Really has. He said fortunate to be in this one. League might look at that too, Mike, if they go back and look at that tape.
Charlotte, 3 goals tonight. Most since their game in the U.S. Open Cup against the Pittsburgh goalkeepers team, North Carolina FC.
Yeah.
They did indeed score more goals, 5 to be exact, against New York Red Bulls 2. When they were playing in South Carolina at Winthrop. Eagle Field, the site of that game. They've got their new home. It's so exciting for this Charlotte franchise right now because the Independents have the offense to back up the claim, you need to come to Matthews and watch us play.
Scoring goals brings in the fans, that's for sure.
Fans dig the long ball.
Wins in the long ball, more important. But
that's
right. You can watch some offense. You'll see more and more people show up.
3 of 4 on the road for them, but home for St. Louis. Then they're at New York and at Harrisburg, this Independent side.
Seven games in July, and right now there looks like a 2-0 start to it. So great start for the month.
When you think about this, this side, they haven't allowed a goal in the run of play in over 400 minutes. It was just a penalty allowed to FC Cincinnati. They didn't have a shutout in their first 10. They're setting up for their third in the last 4.
3 minutes stoppage time at the end of the game.
Gomez trying to force it out, and indeed Ekra had gotten over.
He's whistled for the foul.
Think about Charlotte. They haven't trailed now in 5 consecutive games. This entire unbeaten streak, they have not trailed. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date on everything USL at uslsoccer.com or on Twitter at USL. Just game number 14 tonight, win number 7 for Charlotte. Herzog, Walsh creating, left-footed strike! Javon Walsh has scored. Charlotte allows their first goal in the run of play in over 400 minutes. The Riverhounds will not be shut out tonight.
Great finish by Walsh, just able to find the corner, and that's the first time we've seen the Riverhounds put it into any side of Cody Mizell, and Mizell upset. He gave up the shutout. Not much he could do on that one, if actually nothing he could do.
Well, that's his second goal in as many games, Siobhan Walsh. Chevy's now scored against Tampa Bay, and now here tonight. The other side of that coin, there's reason to believe that he's a bit lucky to be in the game at all at this stage.
Yeah, I think when the league reviews the film, they'll see that elbow thrown in the penalty area, and he might not be so lucky for the next one.
Through the legs of Green. Walsh. Crazy backspin. Still about a minute to go in this one. Kerr slid. Enzo Martinez. Acres of space. Martinez tried to play it across. Ekra. Jamal Jack imploring everybody to get moving late. Kerr can play it with Herzog. Charlotte will likely be able to finish this one out. And there it is, full time. Well, the shutout was not meant to be for the Independents tonight, but that really doesn't do much to lose the luster off what was a fine win on the road to Pittsburgh.
Anytime you go on the road and win, it's a fine result. But you had a 3-0 lead. You go out there, you withstand a lot of the trouble that Pittsburgh caused in the first 10 minutes, but you controlled it from that point, Mike. And at that point, Charlotte able to take advantage of the mistakes and capitalize and get this critical win to put them into third place.
Well, these officials are being bombarded a bit by players from both teams. Enzo Martinez scores, so too does Walsh. It's Charlotte who picks up the 3-1 win over Pittsburgh. They now have a 4-game win streak, 5 games unbeaten. We look back at the game that was. Full-time highlights after this.
With hundreds and hundreds of pre-owned vehicles for every budget, Number One Cochran is the one and only place you need to shop.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
Stay low, stay low. Change of speed, explode, explode. Trust it. Very nice, very nice.
Call 412 Doctors for an appointment with an orthopedic specialist at Allegheny Health Network.
You could spend lots of time searching lots of used car websites. Or just visit Cochran.com to see lots and lots of vehicles.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
Charlotte provides the in-game fireworks. Pittsburgh will provide the after-game fireworks over the Monongahela. Back with Mike Pepper, Mike Watts. Charlotte, a 3-1 win over Pittsburgh. We'll show you how it happened. Full-time highlights from this affair. And Pittsburgh early looked like they had a couple chances to get an early goal. And there were turnovers for both sides that could have made this more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, early on we talked about, but this was the first great chance, and we talk about the goalkeeper right there as Enzo Martinez on the shot, able to go out on Mac Robinson and keep that one scoreless early on.
We move forward. The men in white, who would be the victors tonight, Charlotte, getting the ball upfield in a real hurry. Lifted up for Alex Martinez, finds Enzo, courtesy of Gomez's mistake.
Yeah, and this time Enzo Martinez won't be denied, but Gomez, just an unfortunate touch. It kind of takes a spin off of the turf. You can kind of see it right here from this angle. As that touch, it spins back in, and Martinez just never stops and gives the Independents the 1-0 lead.
Comes in the 40th minute. It's goal number 7 of the season for Enzo Martinez. Move forward, and Pittsburgh trying to get opportunities early in the second half of play.
Yeah, Corey Herzog on the end of this Kerr cross and puts it on net, but it is the goalkeeper Mizell that is in place. And there, as Herzog could not find a corner, and that really was the opportunity.
Well, Estrada would have one heck of a highlight later. This time a bit of a low light, cleated by Busamonde.
Yeah, Busamonde just came in. It was a turnover, though, right in front of the net, and it does result in the penalty kick, and there is, as you mentioned, the goal for Charlotte. Outstanding by Estrada.
62nd minute, and it's 2-0 in favor of the Independents. We move forward. Opportunity for Siobhan Walsh, playing it back to Parks, found space. What a save by Mizell.
Yeah, and again, you know, I mean, Pittsburgh had a couple of chances, but they could not find anywhere other than the center of the net. Mizell in the right position gets a key save.
Looking forward for Pittsburgh here. Herzog into a dangerous position. Martinez looking for another, and why not?
Yeah, and this is what the big save by Robinson, going down to his right and able to get onto it. Opportunity could have been a second one from Martinez. Instead, it's Estrada. It's the second one.
On the corner kick in the 80th minute. It's hard for a goalkeeper, but this is perfect.
Yeah, it was a perfectly taken kick, but you saw the step up by Robinson, and it just, when he stepped up on the near post with the traffic, got past him.
The other way, no shutout tonight, no bagels.
Yeah, Walsh goes off to his left and just rips one. It was a fantastic shot, reminiscent of his fantastic strike in the last game, but this one a little too late.
There were some bubbling tempers late, but ultimately some good sportsmanship shown on the field. As Charlotte comes away with a 3-1 win, here are the full-time stats. What's your main takeaway from the larger game?
Yeah, I think the possession was key in this one. I mean, I'm normally not a big fan of that, but what we saw is Charlotte having it and moving the ball around, tiring out Pittsburgh, and it resulted in a couple of turnovers, and that's where Charlotte made them pay. Other than that, shots pretty even throughout, but I think, again, it was the turnovers by the Riverhounds that the Independents just took advantage of.
A remarkable 75% of shots by Charlotte on target, and they do indeed take advantage. As we look forward for these teams, for Charlotte, a team that will play at home next against St. Louis FC, comes on July the 8th. It's game 3 of the month for them. They'll play 7 in the month of July. It kicks off at 7 at the Sportsplex in Matthews. On the other side for Pittsburgh, they look forward to a road game. It's important that they find a way to get a result against Orlando City B at Orlando City Soccer Stadium on the 8th of July. That'll kick off half an hour later, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Looking forward in the USL this week, national TV coverage yet again for FC Cincinnati. They pay a visit to the Tampa Bay Rowdies on Thursday night. The action on SiriusXM FC and ESPNU beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So it's Charlotte who comes away with win number 4 in a row. Unbeaten in 5 straight. Independence Day indeed. For Mike Pepper and producer Abe Aponte, director Mark Morida, and Jonathan Tellicher, Mike Watts saying so long from Highmark Stadium. Martinez, denied once, would not be denied again. The goalkeeping tremendous. Herrera scores twice. And Charlotte, a winner over Pittsburgh, 3-1. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.